positive.
All right, we're gonna start with the Eagles Cowboys, and then we're gonna do like week one. We should name like quick release, like a quick let's go through the games at which we could talk about
Yeah,
quickly if you want to pick 2 or 3 games. Tyreek Hill, I didn't even look into Tyreek Hill, and then week 2 matchups, and they do the same thing for college as well. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, definitely. We'll start with us though.
cool.
Start with Cowboys, then Eagles,
Eagles
kind
Cowboys.
of deal. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Damn, I don't know why this is what I hate about Riverside. Like we only get these issues with Riverside, bro.
What? Little lag?
Like the lag. Yeah, like and it's only in the beginning usually.
I was just about to say I noticed that last week, and then as we were going in like 5 minutes, I was worried in the beginning, and then we kept going, and I was like, oh shit, it can tell it
Yeah.
gets better. So maybe it's just takes time once we
Like,
press record because the lag doesn't start until we hit record.
exactly. Let me try to see. I think it's because that uploading, but I turned Wi-Fi off, so hopefully, shit that's not connected to Wi-Fi. It's not me too.
Yeah, no, hopefully we should be good. Like I said, I remember last week remembering that it just got better as the episode like went on for a bit. So I'm hoping we should be good.
Okay. If anything, I might have to go fucking. I'm gonna check in Zoom, bro. Because either way, I'm taking these videos out and I'm putting it in to something else. So I might check Zoom out because no matter what, I'm downloading the videos. But I'm gonna see what I can do.
Yeah,
About it.
not a bad idea.
All right, ready?
Yep.
All right, guys, welcome to our week 2 episode of Trust Sports. We're in the building. Before we begin, make sure you go and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow on the Instagram at WeTrust_podcast. What's good, my guy? What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Yo, in those we trust, 1-0. Malik and I, both our teams took care of business this
Yeah.
week. It feels nice.
Yep.
I feel like it's the beginning of the season because we're both cordial. Even like during the games, like I know during the Eagles games, like you're talking about good
Yeah.
about the Eagles, talking about the Cowboys. Like you could tell it's early in the season because the shit talk hasn't really started. But feels good to be 1-0.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's. I'm starting to see slowly but surely at the gym. I start to see being around the area. You start to see people starting to wear their Eagles gear. Like I promise, tell you, you don't see people wearing Eagles gear. Like it's been Phillies gear for a while now. Now
Yeah.
you're getting to the point where it's a bunch of Eagles gears coming back out. You're starting to see. I always say Eagles fans are probably the most like pussy made throughout the year, but something about the Eagles just brings that asshole, let's fight, who wants what out of me. So that's when the greatness of Philly comes in. But since we're talking about Philly, let's begin. We
Mm.
got to talk about the Eagles, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles got a win in Brazil, 34-29 over the Green Bay Packers. You have Barkley scoring. Thank you, James. Hashtag thank you, James.
Thank you, James.
Barkley scores 3 TDs. Jalen Hurts goes for 270 yards, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions. Should have been 4. But my first question to get us into the breakdown of the Eagles' first game was, is this a bad game for Jalen Hurts, or is it an early sign of trouble for the Eagles going forward into the year? Let me know your thoughts, brother.
Yeah, so I think I guess with the Jalen Hurts thing, here's what worries me. Because you've heard a ton, or at least what I've heard, like the other Philadelphia Eagles fans, a lot of the radio, which I don't listen to, but follow some people on Twitter. It seems like it's a lot of like, let's give him a pass. It's week 1. I think you saw throughout the entire NFL offenses struggle. And for me,
Yeah.
that's just kind of like now I'm a little bit like I've come back a little bit. If you were to ask me this question, if we recorded this Friday night, Saturday morning, even Sunday morning before all the rest of the game started, I probably would have been like, yeah, you know what? We might be screwed a little bit here. But as the
I
new
always have
NFL,
to walk Liam off the ledge.
always,
Always. I'm
always,
always walking Liam off the ledge during the game.
always. It's such I don't know if you've ever seen the meme of like the heart. It's like, oh, my favorite team's starting to play. Oh my God, we suck. We're never going to win again. And then, oh, we won. Like up and
Yeah.
down the roller coaster. That's what it is. But no,
Yeah.
I think this is just a new way of the
Yeah.
NFL. They now only have 3 preseason games. That's probably going to be cut to 2 pretty soon. Nobody plays. I mean, nobody plays. And if you do, it's a drive or two. It's just not what we used to see. Like, Malik, when we grew up, you would see like that 3rd preseason game. Starters are playing an entire half, sometimes 3 quarters. Like, you really kind of got in the groove of things.
Yeah.
And you just don't see that anymore. My thing with this and where I worry, and you know my stance on this, and everybody who knows I'm an Eagles fan, that we talk Eagles, they know my stance, was I've always had concerns with Jalen Hurts from day one. We saw it in his first year. really highlighted in that playoff game. I don't know if you remember against the Bucks, the Tom Brady Bucks, when we went down there wild card round and got fucking smoked. Hurts looked like he
Yeah,
didn't belong on the same field with them.
yeah,
Fixed a lot of things, got in some new weapons, had the 2022 year where he was, MVP runner up, got to the Super Bowl, a couple plays away from it, and then we had last year. And Malik, this is what you and I talked about all off season, is what we talked about last week of there's no excuses. Last year, you can pin it on a bad offensive coordinator, Nick Sirianni, the defense fell apart, like everything fucking fell apart. Can't put it on just one person. But now you have no excuses. You have the best wide receiver duo in the league. You have a top 3 running back in the league. You have a real offensive coordinator. I really liked what I saw from him. And you have a defense that, look, is not great by any means. But not great by any means. But when you saw, like, they were kind of that bend, don't break. Like, they're going to give you a chance to go out and win every game, at the very least. But it's shit like this. Those 2 horrible interceptions, the botched snap, the bad reads on read options. It's little things like this to where I can't blame it on week 1, Malik, because you and I both came into the season saying we can't see that again. And in week 1, we saw it again. So I'm not concerned because it's week 1 or going into this year. I'm concerned because this is what I've seen from Jalen Hurts bits and pieces his entire career.
yeah. Yo, we said that this is the year for Jalen Hurts. If he doesn't get it done this year, this is the quarterback who he is. Because he had oh shit, I think Jalen Hurts can't throw deep. Then he had a great year, MVP year.
Yeah.
Then he had okay, let's see what he had a bad year. Now this is what you're gonna see. Is this the quarterback who he really is? Right? He had that awesome year. Was that a fluke year? But I think that the concerns in which you guys had, like that we were talking about, it's totally different now. It's so crazy how going into a season you're like, oh, this is what I'm worried about, and then week 1 you're like, what the fuck? This is actually fixed. When I looked at that Eagles team, I said, yeah, Jalen Hurts definitely had some, and I think around, like you're 100% correct. Around the league, it's funny. Around the league, you see a lot of people struggling. Not my Cowboys, but we'll get into my boy Dak. But you saw that going around the league, Dak. You saw. Don't I have to spit my words back in my mouth a little bit on Dak Prescott. We're gonna get into it. But you've seen Jalen Hurts just make some incredibly awful reads. He's supposed to be one of the smartest QBs in the leagues. Exactly. Does a lot of great things. I think now that he isn't, in my opinion, I think he's not a quarterback that needs freedom. Kellen Moore is one of those, is an offensive coordinator in which he allows the quarterback to have a lot of freedom. He needs to step in and say, no, Jalen Hurts, this is the read. Jalen Hurts, this is where we have to go with the ball. This is where you have to be looking for. He can't have that much freedom because he makes those mistakes. Having that much, and it's just blatant. It's like, how did you not fucking see that guy? And it's these mistakes. It's like, it's funny. How do you go all season with your center? I mean, preseason, and you're running into pre-snap on the tush push and issues. You're fumbling the snaps. Like, what is going? And then, I mean, it was on the center too that one of those fumbles was the center just snapped it without even hearing like those communication breakdowns. That shit that happens in fucking August, like that. Yeah, that's July. That's not work that happens during the first season, the first game. But I think that when we talked about what to be worried about the Eagles, we were completely wrong. I think your biggest concern should be, I think that gets figured out. The center to quarterback issue gets figured out.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is going to be a concern going forward. What are we going to expect from him? You do not want him to lose you a game because what helped you last year is your defense kept you in games. I think your biggest trouble is Cox is gone. I think you're looking for guys to step in and replace that. You don't realize how much of an impact Cox was now because you said, you know what? You know who we have? We have Jordan Davis and we have Jalen Carter. Those guys did not get the job done. They did dick that entire game, and I expected them to step up and play way better than what they were able to do. They were playing undisciplined football. That's not the Eagles. That is not the Eagles to play undisciplined in the way they were. That's the Cowboys. The Cowboys play undisciplined. Eagles aren't known for that, right? So these are some things I expect to get out. But if I were the Eagles, what you applaud is you have a guy that he should be a lifetime Eagles player starting right now, and that's Mitchell. He's a fucking
God, dude.
dog.
I think I texted you, 10 times? 10 times. I was like, bro, jersey's on order. It's got to be on order.
Yes.
He is. Yes. He's the type of player, too. I'm watching him, and I'm like, that's the type of dude Malik's going to hate solely because he's on the Eagles and he likes him so much.
Oh, 100%. That's that. And what's funny is that I saw a poster like, yo, he doesn't talk. Like, everybody's like, he doesn't talk.
No.
In that game, he was talking his fucking shit. And I'm like, wait, who is this guy? They're like, oh, the Eagles drafted him. How? How the fuck does this guy slip through at the cornerback position and he lands on the fucking Eagles? Then you go and you look and I say everyone was worried about the defense, the defensive backs. That ain't your issue, brother. Even the white boy, that ain't your issue. You guys are solid in the back. but it's that core front, it's that linebackers, and again, I'm being very critical on your defensive line. I expected more from them. Of course, they did their job, but
Yeah,
I expected more from them to stop the run and do what they have to do.
absolutely. Well, first of all, with Quinyon Mitchell, like I said, I think I was texting
Oh.
you. I was like, "Yo, number 27, lifetime contract. Like, dude's a
Yeah,
player right away, and dude's a
yeah,
dog." And it's funny to say what you did. Like, he doesn't talk. I remember watching the offseason, AJ Brown had an interview, like July, maybe
that's what I'm saying.
August,
Yeah,
and that's when, yeah, he
yeah,
was like, "Yeah, he doesn't really talk," and then he goes up one on one, incomplete pass, and all I hear from the back is, "Yo, that route was trash." And he's like, "Oh, Q, all right." It's like that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
man, it's very cool to see a cornerback
yeah.
finally just be like a man. We haven't had like a true dog in the secondary,
When did you
like
have Brian
cornerback
Dawkins?
wise,
Or
corner wise. I mean, Slay's been the best, but he's not that second motor. I mean, we've had C.J. Garner Johnson's got a little bit of that, and then Malcolm Jenkins, who was here forever.
not like
So
Malcolm Jenkins.
yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right, Malcolm Jenkins. Yeah,
he
but
was the
this
difference.
is this
But
is a cornerback dog, not a
the corner,
safety
yeah,
dog. This is
exactly.
a
That's what I'm saying.
cornerback dog.
Probably,
Yeah.
honestly, probably since like the Lito Shepherd, Sheldon Brown days
Oh
of
my
like
God. Yeah.
dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, of like
Yeah.
dudes. But no, you're right, and I think kind of going in, it's weird because the past couple of years, the Eagles have built through the trenches. You see all the talent, you see, on both sides, but they always take care of their O line and D line. And I think they've tried. And I think Jalen Carter, a lot of what he did won't show up on the stat sheet, but I saw a ton of picking up double teams, really clogging that middle. Jordan Davis has been a concern since he's walked in here. How good is he?
Yeah.
Was he
Yeah.
kind of picked too high? Is he a bust in where he was picked? And then the edge rushers. I mean, you lost your best edge rusher and Hassan Reddick, and you picked up that other dude from the Jets. You could convince me he wasn't even active. He wasn't anywhere. Josh Sweat was a little
Yeah.
bit of a disappointment. And again, this kind of goes back to, are we going to give them a pass, Malik? Because one of my biggest takeaways from this game overall was NFL cut the Brazil shit. Nobody wanted to play there, and that field was terrible. It was both sides of the ball. Both teams were constantly slipping. So
Yeah.
I saw a couple of plays where, I don't know, were they going to get home on Jordan Love? Maybe, maybe not. But like they just completely slipped and fell. So I
Facts.
don't know.
You're right.
Again, that's where like
Yeah.
let's see the next couple of weeks. But it was a
Yeah.
concern going into the season, and it clearly is again. But at the end of the day, it's good to complain about this kind of stuff because you have to nitpick when your team is this good. And at the end of the day, the Eagles are going to
Yeah.
win a lot
Yeah.
of games purely on talent alone. But you're not playing for just to win 10, 11, 12 games in the regular season. You're built to win a Super Bowl. So that's why you need to
Yeah.
nitpick on these things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, I think for me, like I said, if we were to record this podcast the Saturday after or the Sunday morning before all the other games got started, I probably would have been like, you know what? There's serious concern. But after watching the rest of the NFL play week one, the Eagles scored
Yeah.
34 points and had three horrible turnovers. If you just take two of those turnovers away, we might put up 50. Like, it's a completely different game. And in a week one where everyone else struggled, it's like, all right, end of the day, we scored 34, beat a team that everybody had in the Super Bowl, that everybody was dick eating off of. Liam was right. Who cares? Packers are overrated, but they're still a playoff team, and it was a good win.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I knew once the field shit happened, I was like, here we go. Eagles conspiracy coming out again with field issues. The first thing I want to say is, that travel sucks, but the Brazil crowd was amazing. I mean,
The
I
crowd was,
watched that,
yeah,
that national anthem. They beat our national anthem. Like their
yeah,
national anthem was fucking amazing. The crowd
yeah.
was into it. They sung word for. I thought it was like Justin Bieber was over there singing a song. Like they sung word. You don't even see that in America where we sing word for word.
No,
They
hell
could
no.
have stopped and just let the crowd go. So it was an amazing crowd. I definitely feel like they had a great get. It's one of those things like you really like. I don't feel like going, but once you're there, you're like it's a good time. Like I'm sure they had a good time. The field did
Yeah,
suck like 100%. Like, and I think you're right about
that
that.
was
Like
horrible.
I'm not into like what ifs. But you do see a couple of those guys slip coming around the corners. You do see so many guys. Like I'm like, you're gonna slip. Slow down, chop your feet, and then break.
I
Don't
know.
go so quick for a break because everyone was just falling on their ass like every single
Mhm.
play. But what can you say, bro? Shout out to Saquon. He had a great fucking game. That's the way you become an Eagle. I mean, I think that the Giants fans. I don't. This is my thing. I was thinking like, is the Giants organization is dumb? Or do they actually care about Saquon that much that they say, you know what?
Mhm.
I know he's not going to have a career here. Let me just get him out of here. But you don't
Yeah,
do that internally to the same division. If you want to
Yeah.
respect the player, you say, I have a clause, or you trade him for
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
You don't just let this guy go pick and say he can stay in the fucking division, because everyone's picking the Eagles to go play there because they know a bowl is looming. So I
Yeah.
think that I've been questioning that because I just know Giants fans are on top of a bridge right now. They're ready to jump off at any second.
Yeah.
So
I I
all
think they're
around,
just
I
that
think that
stupid.
it was a complete game. You
Yeah,
think so?
I think the Giants truly are just that stupid, and I would have thought that, but even
Yeah.
like the Hard Knocks where they had like the in the front office Hard Knocks this summer, like you saw,
Yeah.
they kind of seemed like they
Oh,
were fucking
true.
stupid as hell. But no, I mean,
Yeah.
look, that with Saquon too, I think I texted you as soon as we signed him. I was like, this is Christian McCaffrey level impact. You took a guy who was
Mhm.
on a horrible team, banged up with a couple injuries, but when he's fully healthy, can be a top tier running back. I mean, you saw he was the best running back by far this week.
Yeah. I think what was your last words on the Eagles game in regards to Jordan Love? I hope him a speedy recovery. Sucks going
Yeah.
down like that at the end. You guys are cheaters to twist his knee and make
Here
him
we
get
go.
hurt.
Yep, here
I
we
know
go.
that's all I'm seeing right now is a conspiracy of what's called
Of
getting
course
threats,
it
which is
is.
so stupid to me. It's so stupid. But Jordan Love did exactly what we thought he would do. Well, I don't know where this
Exactly.
hype came from for Green Bay. He missed throws in which he could have easily had wide open guys. Granted, Green Bay, you did drop a lot of passes as well. Those wide receivers did not help him out extremely
No.
either. But when you're watching that game, you're seeing him miss easy reads. I think he was a little stressed out as well, and he had no pressure on him. There's a lot of times
Yeah,
where he could have
exactly.
stepped up in the pocket and he threw off his back foot. You're not A-Rod. You're not Aaron Rodgers.
Mhm.
Step the fuck up and make the pass with complete form. Why are you throwing off your back foot? There's so many throws that could have been there if he stepped up in the pocket, but he just didn't have it. And I think that's what you're going to see down the line is a guy that just doesn't have it yet. He's still young.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I know. And that was my whole point. Like when we talked about it, it's like, look, I like Jordan Love. I do. I liked the Packers last year. I really did. But like Super
Yeah.
Bowl, Jordan Love MVP, I'm taking him over CJ Stroud, Lamar. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
what are we possibly doing? And it's exactly what he was. Injury aside, again, I'm glad that he's only out a few weeks. I thought at first it was going to be not career ending, but
Yeah.
season ending. That would have been heartbreaking. So I hope he comes
Yeah.
back. I hope he does have a really good season. But like this is what I was talking about, like just the overhype of the Packers coming into this season, and not for nothing. You going to tell me that looked like a Super Bowl team? Forced 3 turnovers, still at up 34 points, and then their quarterback was missing.
Yeah.
I mean, that game, Malik, should have been 17-0. It was what, 6
Yeah.
nothing? Like they
Yeah.
forced 2 turnovers in our territory, deep in our territory, got 2 field goals out of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that Jordan Love is one of these top tier quarterbacks. He couldn't even get 1 touchdown out of that. That game should have been over from the
Exactly.
start.
I agree. 100% agree with you. They should have been put away. That's the thing with the Eagles. If you give them a game to come back and stay in contention, they're going to win
Yeah.
it. They're going to give you the option as well to put the game away. You got to take it.
Yeah.
Take it. If it's there, take the game away.
You
But
have to.
can we agree? Do you have ready for your year's prediction of what the record would be, or you need some time?
Yeah. No, I think I'm good from what I remember kind of going through when the schedules were released. Honestly, I'll probably stay the same. I can see 11, maybe 12 wins. That's what I was going into
Okay.
this regular season. I think I had this Packers game as one that could have gone either way. But I truly only
Okay.
see a handful of losses. Like at Baltimore, I can see being a loss. At Cincinnati, if they get their shit figured out, I can see being a loss. There's always a game that the Eagles drop in there that they probably shouldn't, right? Like they'll probably lose one to Washington or some bullshit like that. But I had
Yeah.
11, 12 wins coming in. I think that'll probably be enough
Okay.
to win the division. But now that they beat the
Yeah.
Packers, I'll give them an even 12 because, like I said, that was one that I was going back and forth on.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Now let's get into my Cowboys. Cowboys go against the Browns, win 33-17. It was awesome to see Zeke go out and score the opening touchdown, or the score as well. But Liam, I have a great take on my fandom of the Cowboys.
I'm
Over
sure
the
you
time
do.
of doing this podcast, getting older, and starting to talk to more fans in the area about being a Cowboys fan, I've learned that the league people want to control your fandom. They want you to say that, yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm not allowed to be a Cowboys fan. I'm not allowed to be a fan in which I support them when they're winning, but when they're losing, I shut up because we lost. And I've been a fan that's been on a constant, like, I would say a steady stream of, like, if we're up, we're up. If we're down, we're down. I've been sitting there.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm coming off the sense of, like, man, I'm gonna be up. I'm gonna be talking shit. If we're winning, we're winning. If we're down, we're down. We're just who we are to be. But I'm tired of being controlled by why shouldn't I support my team at the highest of levels and the lowest of lows? Like I'm tired of only allowing the winners to be able to support their team because the Cowboys haven't done dick. And since I guess I was born, right? But fuck that. So going into this year, we started right away. We started with the Dak contract, right? And right away, I get
Wow.
the text, Dak signed, what is it, 4 years? Dak signs 4 years, right? And I
60
look,
a year.
and I say, I'm not the biggest. What was it?
60 mil
I forget how
a
much
year
if it was.
for 4 years.
60 million a year, right? And Liam, we gotta break that down as well because we talked about that whole salary cap and what that should look like for quarterbacks because it's just out of this world, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I think that when it comes to Dak Prescott, I've been hard on him. I have completely been hard on him. I've been destroying him of like, you won't win me a playoff game.
Yeah.
I look around and I say, Dak Prescott isn't too far for being a top 5 quarterback. And when I look around the league and I say, no, listen. At the end of the day, what type of quarterback do
Here
you
he
want,
is.
Liam? How far is Jalen Hurts from Dak Prescott?
So
That alone, that sigh alone tells me a lot. If you don't have a definite
no.
answer of like it's nowhere close, that tells me where quarterbacks are in the
It's
league right now.
close.
As a whole, where
It's
quarterbacks
close.
are.
It's
Okay.
close, but I think those
that's all I
two are
want.
close. I think those two are close. I think those two are pretty far away from top 5 in the league.
Oh, okay. You know what, Liam? I'll take that back. I give you that right there. He's outside the top 5, right? But when we compare quarterbacks around the league, how many other options do I have between those top 5 guys and then what's left over? Not every team is walking around here with a top 5 quarterback, but they are the ones who are expected to win and have those big games. Give it to you. You also go out and you say, but you're paying this guy all this money for another 4 years. Well, show me another quarterback that you can say, let's build this dream with, because right now we don't have the players to say, I can go ahead and go get a rookie quarterback and hope that he could build me into a franchise. I kind of am in the position in which I have CeeDee Lamb, I have Micah Parsons, I have Lawrence, I have these guys around that I kind of can't waste that 5 years to build another guy up. So what am I stuck with? I think that we're also in the position in which we have Jerry Jones, Jerry Jones is a Joe Biden of the fucking of the NFL owners, right? He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He needs to give the reign of the house to someone else. He needs to move out of office.
Yep.
That's exactly what's going on right now with him. And we're under that control of, am I mad about signing Dak Prescott? Yeah. But what are my other options, right? Do I have a quarterback? When you watch that game on Sunday and I sat back and I said, this is a number 1 defense out here, right? This is a defense where Myles Garrett is inches away from touching Dak Prescott every fucking play. You look across the Cowboys as well, and you say they have a rookie center and a rookie left tackle. Myles Garrett only had 1 sack and 1 forced fumble. Can I be mad at that? And you know where that starts off? That's not the amazing job of the left tackle. That comes from Dak Prescott's leadership, because that's the only thing they always say about Dak. His leadership is amazing. But it's also how smart he is. Granted, his abilities may not be there, but Dak Prescott also slid protection, quick outs, getting the ball out. That's what drove us out on the field, is Dak Prescott being able to command the space. If I need him to be clutch, that's where I worry and say, fuck, he can't make that deep throw. He's going to throw a pick here. And you had that same fear with Jalen Hurts. And that's a fear a lot of these guys have with their quarterbacks. But I think I haven't been giving him the credit that he deserved, in which of him being able to command a game in the right space. And then I'll go into the details of everything else. I just think that I want to see what can happen. I have to be more optimistic of, let's see what this team could do for me and take me down the line, because I can't waste any more careers. I'm tired of wasting careers. I have to be on the bandwagon of all in, all hope for Dak Prescott to figure this shit the fuck out and get me a win.
Yeah, and look, Malik, I'll touch on everything you said, but I wanted to first welcome you back to fandom, because fan is short for fanatic. We're supposed to be delusional. Right? At the end of the day, the Chiefs are probably going to three-peat anyway, so we might as well have fun during the course of the season rooting for our team. Like, let's be honest, as long as 15's on the field in red, not many teams are going to have a fucking chance to win anyway. But I think where you were coming from before is you were almost like, it's the same story every single year. And already we are in the same story of every year. It's week 1, and the Cowboys looked good against a team that looks a lot worse than they actually did, Malik. That Browns team, I'll give it to you. The defense was better than probably they showed. Deshaun Watson is the worst contract in the history of sports. That Browns team last year went on their best run with a 40-year-old Joe Flacco after Deshaun Watson got hurt. Like, that Browns team is not anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't look like they're a team that's going to make the playoffs unless they make a quarterback change. But with Dak Prescott, I mean, look, at the end of the day, this is what Dak is. Is he a bad quarterback? No, never said he was. Is he a great quarterback? No, he's probably middle of the league. I mean, I could go through right now, truthfully, and ask you, would you rather have these guys one-on-one switch, Malik, to your Dallas Cowboys tomorrow? I would guarantee you say at least yes to 12, maybe 14 quarterbacks. And it puts them right in the middle.
Cap,
and
there's no way. There's no way.
Would you want to go through it?
12.
Because I know
12 guys over Dak. Go ahead.
Let's see. I'll just go by the game. Game on Thursday, I know you're taking Mahomes and Lamar right out of the gate. Healthy Jordan Love?
No.
Okay.
He hasn't proven nothing to me.
Okay. Jalen Hurts? Your boy?
Edge a little bit.
Your boy?
I'll edge him a little bit. Yeah. Dynamic.
Let's see. Josh Allen?
Fuck no. Come on, bro. You already know that one.
Come on.
You know that one.
Kyler Murray?
No.
All right. Listen,
I'm being serious. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
no, that's fair. I want to get your gauge. I want to get your gauge.
Yeah,
Joe Burrow?
Oh yeah, Joey Ice, baby. You think I would love that jersey?
CJ Stroud. I know that answer already. The Colts quarterback,
100%.
Richardson.
No, coming off the injury. If you were to, no, no, not yet. No.
Trevor
But again,
Lawrence.
if they were to say, could you trade him for that? I would be happy with that trade because I want to see
That's what
him
I'm saying.
develop
It's a
with us.
one,
He's
just
a ready
one.
to go guy. Yeah.
Yeah, just the one swap. Then you would. Trevor Lawrence.
No.
Okay. Tua.
I don't believe it. I have a hard stand on Trevor Lawrence. This is his year too for him.
That's
I don't
fair.
think he's
Trevor's
able to
fair.
get. Yeah.
Trevor's fair. Tua.
No, I don't believe in Tua.
No. Come on, he's Dak.
No, watching Tua last year in the playoffs, everything I needed to see from him. I was like, remember we said
100%.
Tua sucked.
100%.
Tua sucked down the line.
But
I'll take Dak
though.
being
That's what Dak is.
sucking.
Dak
doesn't suck in the playoffs. Dak doesn't suck. You said what?
Dak sucked against the Packers. All those garbage yards and garbage TDs. I mean, come on, bro. That was what, a 30-10 game?
I don't remember him. Oh,
come on.
I don't remember him sucking. I remember him not doing enough to go win me the game, and I value that more to play calling and playing it safe because what he did not want to happen was I'm the reason we lost. That's what I'm being honest. I have to go back and watch the film.
I really truthfully think you're forgetting the pick six, the dumb pick in the beginning. I mean, that game was like 27-3 because of Dak in a blink.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I forget. Yeah, you're right.
Let's see. Matthew Stafford, I'd say probably a 1v1 split.
Okay. Now, one of my biggest takes from this week was Matthew Stafford is like the comeback player of the century. Like, I have no idea how he's playing so well. So I would take Matthew Stafford.
Hall of Fame?
Of he won a Super Bowl. No, but he won a Super Bowl. No.
He did.
I don't think he's Hall of Fame guy. Like Deion said, there should be Hall of Fame and then there's the upper room. I don't even think he gets into the Hall of Fame.
I'll end with four guys. I'll round them off for you. Tell me any. And I want you to think about it. Rodgers, Purdy, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield.
Rodgers is the only one.
All right.
Bro, A-Rod's my guy. Baker, now, and what I want to say about the Browns on that, how mad are you if you're a Browns fan to see Baker Mayfield go out and play for Tampa Bay and do his fucking thing and get that contract?
Horrible.
It's the organization.
I'm happy for him.
It's the organization. Come on, bro. Like, there's nothing else that's there.
But no, I mean, truthfully, like I say all this to say, like this is what Dak does. He's going to put up good stats. They're going to win 10, 11 games. Like, we knew this. They're going to make the playoffs unless, knock on wood, nothing happens. But unless something happens, they're going to make the playoffs. And whoever they see in the first round, they're going to lose. And then you're going to sit here again, and you're going to tell me, I don't know why we paid him $60 million. He could have never gotten it done. He did the same thing the past 2 or 3 years. Now, again, I'm with you. I want you to root for it. Makes it better for conversation rather than you just being like, what do you want me to do? Like, not root for him. I'm with you on that. But at the end of the day, Dak is Dak. Dak showed me everything that he needed to show me already, truthfully. And unless he goes on a run for the rest of his career, Because if he does, then it's a totally different conversation. But until then, you just can't put him as anything other than a regular season performer against teams that are probably worse than the Cowboys. And anything other than that, I just can't trust him. And if I'm looking around the league personally, I'm 100% putting him as the 14th, maybe 15th best quarterback in the league.
That's such cap, but okay, that's fine. That's your opinion. I think that this the year for me. When your boy said Dak was ass, that pissed me off because I'm like, he's not ass. He's just not a great quarterback. And we're used to seeing you're comparing him to great quarterbacks who go out and win you games. When was a quarterback just being able to? I mean, you had Stafford who played an amazing fucking game in the Super Bowl to win them. I mean, he stepped up to his. But let's be honest, for most of his career, you were comparing him to Dak as well, right? When he was with the Lions, when he was with the Rams, like he wasn't that fucking special of a guy yet. He wasn't. He was on
it was a little bit
team.
different. A little bit different because if you look at the situation wise of what Stafford had with the Lions versus, I mean, Dak came in and had Dez. He had that best offensive line in the league. Like he was set up for success from day one. Stafford kind of built that program from the bottom.
But I also didn't believe in Dak and the Cowboys being able to blow playoffs until this Green Bay game because there was no reason why we should have lost that Green Bay game. Like that was a game in which I was like, this is when the Cowboys do what the Cowboys do, and they did what they did. Like that's what it was for me. Yeah, like that was the game. But this year, I had the Cowboys in my head. I had the Cowboys being 11-6. I think we have an amazing schedule. We have probably the easiest schedule. I think next week is definitely the biggest test for me. I want to see how we hold up against that offense with Carr, with we playing the Saints. You then go. I have us losing to the Baltimore
Saints.
I think they are too. That'll be able to shut them out.
That'll be easy. That's an easy one.
I think we're able to shut them out if we can, but let's see what happens. But this year I have us losing to Baltimore, Detroit. I think Detroit gets their payback versus us for sure.
Yeah.
We lose to San Francisco. We lose to Houston. I think that Texas battle. I think CJ Stroud goes and murks us out down there because he's pissed off. And I think we lose to Tampa Bay, and I have us, of course. I think it's late game Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay always plays fucking weird late because sometimes they'll be viable to need a playoff win, then need those wins to make the playoffs, and they wait to the end of the season. And I think we lose to Philly. We always split with Philly, so I have us losing there. Yeah. I think we beat the Giants 2 times, and I think we beat the Washington twice. Yeah. So we have easy. It's funny you say 11 wins for the Eagles, but the Eagles schedule is completely harder than the Cowboys schedule going into this year. But let's do I think you guys have a tougher schedule, right? I remember that was the biggest thing going into the year, that you guys had a tougher schedule than what you've had in the previous year.
Not last year was brutal. Last year was that gauntlet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Remember, it was like Bills, Niners, Cowboys. Easy. This year's a little bit easier. I mean, you go to Cincinnati, go to the Rams, go to Baltimore, but other than that, everything's kind of manageable.
Yeah, and it's spread out. That's what matters. All right, quickly, let's go over week 1, quick release. I think we had a great football this week. It was amazing football. Some overtimes, a lot, two overtime games. Was it 2 overtime games? But we had close games. Really good football. Ravens, Chiefs. Go ahead. It was 2, right?
No, I'm sorry. Just the one.
Oh, just the one, right? Week 1, quick release. We have Ravens, Chiefs. Chiefs pulled it out with 27 victory. Panthers, Saints, 10-47. Vikings, Giants. Giants get dog snapped by the Vikings, 28-6. Steelers, Falcons. Steelers pull it out, 18-10. Texans to the Colts, 29-27 to the Texans. Cardinals, Bills, 28-34 to the Bills. They pulled out that W as well. Titans, Bears, a crazy battle of the bums, 17-27. The Bears pull it off. Caleb gets his first win. They did not score a single touchdown the entire game, all field goals. Rams, Lions, great fucking game, overtime game, 20-26. Jets, 49ers, 19-32. 49ers pull it out. What are those? And out of all those games, what are some key takeaways that you have to see?
Yeah. Well, I guess first the game that you might have missed by accident, but my boy Harbaugh getting his first win. Looks like that team is. Yeah. I figured you missed that on purpose. But I think the biggest takeaway for me out of all these games, I think I texted you a little bit earlier, the struggle. Again, we talked about most offenses had the struggle, but all or most of these young quarterbacks looked bad. Like Caleb threw for 93 yards. Jaden Daniels looked, I guess, all right. Bo Nix for the Broncos looked pretty trash. Will Levis looked like trash.
Will Levis
So
looked
it
awful.
was again the offense was just overall. I think it was just an ugly week of football. I mean, again, like you look at a team like the Dolphins that was a high scoring offense. They barely put up 20. Again, you look around the league. Like truthfully, I think other than the Cowboys looked pretty good. I think again you can put the Eagles in that category. And then I think the Lions and the Rams, those were just two really good teams facing off against each other. But other than
Yeah,
that, everyone had their share of rust. That was the biggest takeaway for me. It was like
yeah,
every team had their share of rust.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think the biggest takeaway for me is when it came down to the wire of games, that's when leadership stepped up and the teams in
Mhm.
which you expect them to win won last minute. It was those young teams who had some young guys not being able to finish it. And the Lions looked tough, man. The Lions looked really
They
good.
do.
The Jets to me looked awful. Shout out to
They did.
Hassan Reddick for still sticking out and
I
saying
know.
like, pay my bread or trade me.
Yep.
But the 49ers, I think it was another week of watching Brock Purdy be a handoff specialist and sometimes having to throw some
I
dimes,
know.
sometimes not throwing dimes. He in my opinion, he almost had 2 picks in that game as well. That just were completely dropped. So another week of seeing Brock Purdy just play his role. So we'll see later down the line, Brock Purdy.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
let's get into that Tyreek Hill issue that happened with Tyreek Hill being arrested as he's feet away from
Hmm.
entering into the stadium of Week 1 Dolphins play and going out and having a fucking amazing game, amazing celebration. What exactly occurred?
I
Did you
know.
look into this Tyreek Hill issue?
Yeah, so a little bit. I think it was, I don't know if you heard about this either. It was eerily similar to the situation in golf over the summer where the number like one player in the world, Scotty Scheffler, got arrested trying to get into the PG, I think it was like the PGA Championship or something like that. I'm sure you've heard about it. But it was,
Yeah,
I guess,
yeah,
the
yeah.
same situation. Maybe Tyreek Hill was speeding and kind of like, they have all different traffic restrictions when they're that close to game time for people that are trying to get into the parking lots. And I guess they just called him speeding, but again, it was a classic like what the fuck are we doing? Because they released the body cam footage right away, and it looks horrible. I don't know if you got a chance to see
Yeah.
any of that, but
Hmm.
me feel bad for Tyreek Hill, man. It's just one of those situations. It's like as a cop, first of all, you showed what type of person that you were, regardless of what you do. But like, how do you not know that's Tyreek Hill? And then the craziest thing was when Calais Campbell came to try to like de-escalate the situation. Like, yo, this is my teammate. Like, we're going in the game. They put him in cuffs. Like they were just throwing out everybody, bro. Like it was fucking
Yeah.
candy. It was ridiculous. And as soon as I saw that, it was like Tyreek Hill touchdown. You knew he was going to go off, and that celebration was dope. That was so
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, it just shows you what it is still to no matter what. Hey, bitch, the reason you're down here being a cop right now is because of me,
Him.
you dumb fuck. So like, yeah, like exactly. Like wake the fuck up and have some awareness with you. Regardless if he's not an NFL player, what are you putting someone directly in handcuffs for and not being able to communicate effectively to say, yo, what are you doing out here? What like
It was a
talking it
power trip.
through to understand. Yeah, just and that's 100% what happens. And that's honestly why I hate going to games sometimes because the cops are just they
Yeah.
are tired of dealing with assholes, drunk fucks,
Yeah.
but they also treat you like shit. Like they'll talk any type of way to you. They're like
Exactly.
looking for a reason to use their power in front of the masses. So yeah, and that's exactly what happened. Ending with the NFL talk, we have Week 2 matchups. We have the Giants Commanders. What do you think that goes?
Battle of the bums. Who gives a shit? Probably Washington because the Giants are. I mean, Daniel Jones. Look, we talk about how bad Deshaun Watson is. Good lord, how the hell is
Oh my
Daniel Jones in
god.
the NFL still?
Yeah, I can't wait. I hope they lose this game because it's a watch.
Yeah.
I just chose the best game that I think to really watch this week. Bengals Chiefs. Get to see that's always a battle. Falcons Eagles just
Yeah.
because the Eagles. Bills Dolphins will be a great game to watch as well. Saints versus
Yeah.
Cowboys. Bears versus Texans. I think those are some need to watch
Yeah.
games that I'll definitely be keeping
I
an eye
think.
out for.
Yeah, and I think low key too. Like I agree with all the games. I think a couple things to look out for. Number one, I watched a decent amount of the Bengals game when they got upset against the Patriots.
Hmm.
Joe Burrow
Yeah,
last year injured his arm, his elbow, his shoulder, whatever it was. He does not look healthy. That dude was not able to throw the ball more than 10 yards. So now that they're
really.
on a national stage, like watch it. Maybe he's a little bit better, but that was the worst I've seen Joe Burrow play, I think, ever. Yeah, a big
Wow.
one, CJ Stroud against Caleb Williams Sunday night. That should be exciting. A low key good one, 1 o'clock, is the Buccaneers at Lions. Playoff rematch from last year. I think the Buccaneers looked. That's another offense we just talked about.
Oh,
They
true,
looked like they were struggling. Buccaneers looked
true,
crisp. They look crisp. So yeah, it should be a good one.
true. Yeah, man. All right, let's get into my favorite segment, college football, baby. This is a week of upsets, a week of big
Yeah.
time football, and a great weekend of college football. Shout out to my guy David. He definitely supports the pod, and he was at the Texas game versus Michigan, where Texas
Oh
definitely
yeah.
upset Michigan and made them look like little pups, 31-12. We then go around. We had some close upsets, some possible upsets to go around as well. We had Kent, and I just chose, some close games as well that almost led to an upset. It was like that all weekend, to where you're seeing these games of teams
It
that are
was.
ranked versus unranked teams and being like, what is going on with this score? 14
Hmm.
Kansas State almost lost to Tulane, but they pulled it out
Yeah.
34-27. Bowling Green put up 27
Yeah.
versus Penn State. Penn State pulled it out 34 points. You had the biggest one of all big ones, Northern Illinois, now ranked 25 in the nation,
I know. How about
upsetting
that?
Notre Dame with the big L. And then you have number 9 Oregon pulling out a W
Yeah.
versus Boise State 37-34. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then you look, Colorado taking a big L of we knew who that we thought they would be.
Yep.
Colorado losing 10 to Nebraska 28. Houston to Oklahoma as well. Houston lost 12-16, a close game. This is a 15 ranked
Yeah.
Oklahoma. I guess we want to sit and talk about the Texas game. This weekend was beautiful for me, Liam. This is a weekend of the teams I need to lose lost. I needed Michigan to lose, and I love seeing Notre Dame lose. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
seeing that. It was
That's
funny. I
true.
saw a meme that was like, Kelly can't win you the big games, but this new coach can't win you the
I
little games.
know.
And it's like, what is this in between that's going on out here? Um, but watching that Texas Michigan game, I'm always looking out to like the playoffs, and I say, Texas is a complete team.
Yeah.
Texas is a team that
100%.
should definitely has a great chance of winning the national championship, because they play on all levels. I mean, they went into Michigan and made Michigan look crazy. I mean, Michigan
Yeah.
stopped playing in the second quarter. The
Yeah. It
fans
wasn't
left
close.
third quarter.
Yep.
It was an upset the entire time. I mean, they dog walked them, play calling. They could do what they want. They can go for two if they wanted to. They could throw the deep ball, go for it on fourth down, hitting on all cylinders. Ewers looked amazing. He looks like an
He did.
amazing quarterback. Their running back core is amazing, and it all starts with that offensive line. We're talking to my boy David about the game. I said, what are your strongest points? Like our offensive line. Our offensive lines have all draft picks right there and
Yeah.
there that will
Exactly.
definitely be leaving. They're all like upperclassmen, seniors. So that when looking at that Texas team, I said, "Wow, I've never
Yep.
seen Michigan look this bad in my life," and they embarrassed them. I don't even know that Michigan quarterback was not ready to play ball at all.
Mm-mm. No, 100%. I think there's two big takeaways you can get from this, and I think even the thing that I texted you earlier was like Michigan's done, and I think that
Yeah,
is a lot of what people took away from this game. But even just looking at the score and like thinking about it more during the course of the week, like no, put respect on Texas. That's fucking hard to do. I think we even
yeah,
both talked about it. We were like, look, Texas will probably win, but it should be close. I think everybody had that feeling. Just because you're going into the big house, like you're the number 3 team in the country, there's still a lot of national champions on that roster, and Texas went in there and it was from the jump. Like the game was over from
yeah,
the jump. And
yeah, 100%,
you're right. I
100%.
think look, number 3 team in the country, they went in and absolutely handled business. They have veteran leadership all up and down that roster. Like your boy said, I think I heard it's like the most veteran offensive line that really you're going to get in this day and age.
Yeah,
Not only are there juniors and
yeah,
seniors playing, but they've all been at Texas. And then you have a
yeah,
quarterback Quinn Ewers that is just one of those guys. He feels like he's been around for 10 years, because he's been starting for what 2 or 3 now. So like you have that veteran at quarterback, those veterans on the O line down in the trenches. I mean, they've looked like as good of a team as anybody in the nation early on.
yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. It was awesome to see, because I always want to see Michigan take a big L. But no matter what, you still have to take you still have to play Ohio State, Michigan at the end of the year, and no matter what, that's a rivalry game. It doesn't matter who's ranked what.
Yeah,
It's a rivalry game, and it's going to be an important game going into it. But you had to tell me, I was out and about, and you're like, Malik, are you watching this Notre Dame game? I'm like, nah, like I would never turn that on. He's like, I think you should watch this game, brother. Like Notre Dame's getting upset. To see Notre Dame go and get upset the way that they did, not being able to score. I mean, our Basuda player of the week is Riley going into the quarterback for Notre Dame. uh, what's his last name? Riley Leonard. To see him, I didn't know
Leonard,
who he
yeah.
was, but now that I see that he used to play for Duke, I clearly remember him.
Yep, you
He
know
was nothing
exactly who
at
he is.
Duke, and it's like with all these guys
Yep.
in the transfer portal and do all these things, like you can't get another guy. Like that's how I feel with this. But if I'm a Notre Dame fan, I think
Yeah.
that you have the easiest schedule every year. You play nobody. You paid them, what is it, 1.2, $1.4 million for them to come in your house and
1.4.
end your season right off the bat. Like,
Yeah.
oh
And
my God. As a fandom, Shane Gillis, what are you going through right now, bro? To have to deal with every year you guys blow it with no schedule. You keep it that way so you
yeah,
can just sneak your way into the playoffs and stuff like that. And you
no
still
conference,
fuck it up every year. Yeah.
no conference championship game to worry about.
Nothing, and it shows you even more that Texas A&M sucks. Because I said Texas A&M should fucking win this
Hmm.
game. Texas A&M was able to win that game, but they just couldn't get out their own way. That shows that Texas A&M is bad, but as well as if a MAC team can go in and beat you, oh my God, it's over for you, bro. And like, again, I always root for a black coach, but Jesus, brother, you're not selling your case strong at all now.
No, no. I mean, look, it was a lock. It was a Liam lock. They were like 28-point favorites. We took them. It obviously hit,
Oh,
but it was going on, and I'm like, oh my God, this is
wait,
gonna
hold the
cover.
fuck up, Liam. You took this lock?
Yeah, Northern Illinois.
Oh my God, I didn't even peep that, bro.
Not as
What
a
a
win.
pick,
Not as a
man.
win. Not as a win. I wish it was just as a
But a
win.
but a plus 30. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And that's what it
Wow,
was.
what
And
a
look,
pick, bro.
and the locks were only 3-2. I think I also picked the Panthers, so that was equally as bad as this one was good. So I'll take that on the chin. We'll be
Yeah.
better next week. But I mean, this was like, I think when I texted you, I was like, "Yo, forget about the spread. Like this team
Yeah.
genuinely may win this game outright." And
Yeah.
I was texting Tyler Jared because he was like, "Yo, why are you betting against Notre Dame? What's the thought process?" And I was kind of telling him. And at the time, Notre Dame drove right down the field, 7-0 early. And he was like, yeah, bro,
Okay.
like, I don't know. And the Northern Illinois was just there. They were there. They were there. They were there. And I'm like, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, I always pick against teams that have those big emotional wins the week before. So that's what Notre Dame was. They went into Texas A&M, won a close game.
Yeah.
But fuck, man, it was really, really cool to see because you don't see that big of an upset as often, right? Like when you see upsets happen, normally it's like I don't know if Oregon goes down, it's against USC, right? Like yeah,
Yeah.
it's an upset,
Yeah.
but like it's conference games that are some
Yeah.
way always tight. Like no, this was a team that got paid $1.5 million to come in
Yeah.
and in theory get smoked. Like this was supposed to be a
Yeah.
practice game for Notre Dame,
Yeah.
and after the win last week, the rest of their schedule was supposed to be just coast until the college football
Yeah.
playoff, and then let's line it up. And you want to
Yeah.
talk about supporting a black coach? That Northern Illinois coach, man, he might be my
Yeah.
favorite coach. Just watching that post game
Yeah.
interview, man, like that's what makes for all the
Crying.
people that
Yeah.
don't get college sports, that don't get football in general, like watch that 2 minute interview that he had. If it
Yeah.
doesn't give you any emotion, I don't think anything will. But really,
Yeah.
really fucking awesome for that program. That seems like a really good dude. He played for Northern Illinois, took over that
Oh
program.
wow.
You could tell that was just like a really, really, really well coached team that came out, was not scared of the moment, and took care of business. Like purely hats
Yeah.
off to them.
Yeah. It makes you also it makes you wonder like this is what the transfer portal is about, right? You have
Yeah, exactly.
these kids that go out and say, you know what, I don't have the opportunity yet. Let me go still play for a big school, a D1 school, get some looks, put some film out there to then transfer to one of those big institutions.
Yeah,
These are you're now playing against transferability guys who are playing against. Let's be honest, Notre Dame and these guys, they're not getting 5-star recruits. You know, they're still pulling those 4s and 3 like those guys up there to play. And what's the difference with Illinois? Like these guys can still play at that level and are using. Now there's no such thing as why go to a JUCO when I can just go to a lower level D1
yeah,
and still get competition, still get my work, and then go back up. So it's like hats off to them. You then turn and you look at Nebraska putting up 28 versus 10. You know, this is a Nebraska team that's now ranked 23. Nebraska is shit. Matt Rule comes in. You have to look at Matt Rule and say, Matt Rule's a winner, bro. Anywhere
we
he
said that.
goes,
Yeah, that's
he
what we
could
said.
turn a place around. With Temple, wherever he goes, this is a game in which I think now you look at Colorado and you raise an eyebrow to say, what is going on there? What is going on with the organization? What is going on with Shador? not taking the blame and putting all
Yeah.
the blame on his offensive line. It's just that's awful leadership. That's not what I want to see
Mm.
come from him. We understand they're struggling. How are you going to now put them on the map and say, point the finger at them and say you're the reason we lost? Is because I have no time in the pocket to go.
Mm-hmm.
Shador, am I sorry? Do I remember you taking at least 3 or 4 sacks yourself by
Yeah.
not being able to? And the biggest thing going into after week 1, they said Shador was always looking for the deep pass and didn't know when he can go ahead and pick it up with his
Exactly.
feet. That's exactly what happened. He did not go and
Yep.
pick up the yardage with his feet. He sat back looking downfield and took sacks. Hey, if you fucking know this is
Yeah.
going on, get the ball out. For the offensive coordinator as well, you see your guy has no time. You see how your guy has no pressure. He's getting pressure the entire time. Why are you still taking a 3-step drop back? Why are you not leaving a tight end chip and a running back in the backfield with him if you want to throw that deep threat? And I think that was and it was very frustrating to watch them have to go through that. I think you look at the Nebraska quarterback, you say he is really good. It's just he's a little bit strange with being with sitting here and copying
Pat,
Mahomes with number 15, the haircut, the way he warms up. Things are getting a little strange right now. But this is a guy that I definitely could say can definitely be a top, I think, a number 1 overall pick as a quarterback for sure going on in the future.
yeah.
It's a true freshman.
Yeah.
It's a true freshman, bro.
Patty Mahotel. Look, I mean, he's been doing this thing. I've been seeing all that. Patty Hotel, Patty Apartments. It's I'm dying. It is a little weird. It is a little weird. But no, I think Colorado gets the in those we trust. They are who we thought they were. Award of the week. Because again, this is the same thing that happened last year. It's the same thing we said when Colorado went up against North Dakota State, and you and I both had that game on an upset alert. Look, Shador, man, like, can you blame him totally for how he's coming out his offensive line? No, because that's what his dad was doing in the offseason. When he's bringing in, I think they had brought in the most transfers in the country, and he was shitting on the offensive line from last year. And again, you look at a guy like that, and then again, just like I mentioned with Northern Illinois coach, who's saying, let me help these guys, let me develop these guys. Maybe they're not good enough to start right now, but here's Dion being like, get the fuck out of my program, you're not good enough. Well, how are those transfers doing?
Yeah.
Because your son's saying they're just a shit. And just like you said, if you're that guy, if you want to be a top pick in the NFL draft, it doesn't have to be all perfect at all times. But these are where you are going to have to adjust as an NFL quarterback, adjust as a prospect, do those quick throws. The same thing you just said about the Cowboys with Dak. There was 2 rookies on that offensive line. They knew the game plan was to get it out short, get it out. Where's Myles Garrett at all times? If you're having that many problems, you need to take the blame. You're the leader. You have that L patch. You and I both said we love the leadership that we saw from week 1. This was a total 180 from him. I was really disappointed to see not only how he played, but like how you react afterwards. Like that shows me all I need to know.
Yeah, for sure. And I hope they bounce back. I don't even know who they're playing this coming week, but this upcoming week, nothing major in college sports. It's kind of just a boring game, just to watch some games. I would say I don't think if there's anything exciting going on this week. Any last words? NFL, college, anything you got on your head to trust of the week?
No, I guess if we move on to trust of the week, you want to do trust of the week football? You want to do trust of the week non-football? What do you got?
Non-football. Let's do a non-football one. I mean, it could be surrounding football, but not like trust of like a bet this or something like that.
Yeah. All right, that's fair. If you have one, you can go because I have one, but I'm trying to think if I got one better.
Okay. For me, my trust of the week is there's nothing I love more. I'm gonna stay in the football realm because we're on football right now. There's nothing that I love more than I haven't been yet, but I'm itching to go back to a Palmyra high school football game. Just visiting your old high school for a football game. I know it's like a big thing, like the meme of like the football person. Like, I'll hit the when the alum come back like, Coach, I can come play for you if you need me. And making jokes, but there's nothing better to me than watching the young guys, hearing the band play, being under the lights, being able to reminisce yourself, going to the locker room, seeing what's going on. And I think that coming from a small town, that's something that's even more important. And I definitely will catch some games this year. Put them to a Palmer. And I don't know why people have this weird thing of like, I'm not gonna go back as an alumni and support. I think you owe that to the kids for them to see guys that came before them, and you're never too cool to go back and just catch a game. So my trust of the week is high school football games, Friday Night Lights, and hearing the band play.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I love it. Let me know when you go. I'll definitely would love to go back and check out another game. I haven't been in a while.
For sure.
But I guess I mean, this just comes with football as well. But trust in the crisp air that we have again. I think I wore a hoodie for the first time last Thursday watching the Ravens and the Chiefs game outside. Threw on a hoodie.
Oh
It was
yeah,
great. It
yeah,
was
yeah,
lovely. So look, I love the
yeah,
springtime because of the weather. Summer, it sucks when you walk outside and you're instantly sweating. I like summer a lot, but like
yeah,
that change from like 90 to 100 degrees down to like what we've gotten, windows open when you're sleeping,
yeah.
throwing the hoodie at night, like nothing beats that.
Yeah, I wore a hoodie for the first time, going out to eat. I love my opinion. I love the hoodie with the shorts weather. Like when I can
Yeah,
still wear the
100%.
shorts, I'm not too cold, but I need the hoodie to like keep me there. Yeah, that's a good
100%.
trust of the week. Hey guys, make sure you're supporting the podcast. I thank you for tuning in to another for week 2 of our Trust Sports. Make sure you go and subscribe to the YouTube. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Music as well. And make sure you follow us on Instagram at WeTrust_podcast. And make sure you follow Liam on Instagram at
Liam Stokes 11.
Trust Up, guys. Much love.
All right, thanks, Lee.